worked, and everybody said, yeah, let's do that. And then after that, it's not only about this conference, this is just the beginning. It's about how do we make this into a movement? How do we get businesses more engaged? How do we have opportunities like film festivals or like pitch fests or casting calls so that individuals on the spectrum have an opportunity to share their ideas and share their talents? So there's that, or there's webinars, or there was the 200 people who got rejection notes from me that they couldn't come. There's, just a lot of other things that we're going to need to do besides the conference. So that's going to take some energy in terms of us creating some kind of membership, us figuring out how do we organize all these different groups so that they can push things forward, because it can't just be Judi, or it can't be just the 12 people that we're meeting in the room. Luckily for this event, we ended up with hundreds of people helping. So it's really how people want to see change, so how do you harness that energy to create the change? This may not be the right answer that you were looking for. I'm a mom, okay? And although I did this for everybody, I also did this for my son. And my son Josh had his own journey. He got to work with Paul Hemstreet, creating 2 documentaries. He got to grow as an individual. He got to be involved in this team. He pitched to Matt Brunet and Matt to discuss our conference and got him to talk about it on his podcast. So for me, personally as a mom, that was the biggest thing, was to see my son doing his job, interacting with people with a smile on his face. I'm sure I'll hear how exhausted he is on the drive home. But having that opportunity and knowing that the opportunity I had for me was an opportunity that all these other families were experiencing on this day was amazing. I think one of the neatest moments for me was with Mike Luna. After we were going to go get some pictures taken, and he said, I really want to meet Jorge Gutierrez. And so the 2 of them met. And he said, Jorge, Mike is Hispanic. He says, I grew up in Sacramento and I didn't connect with my Latin American heritage. And he says, your work changed my life and made me connect with it. And he says, I have 2 kids on the spectrum. And so this event was very special to him because it connected him with so many things that he had a passion for, and so he understood it. So that little conversation, to see people meeting, there was a little conversation between Jorge, who designed this, but it was based off of this. And I got to get Jimmy Bordeaux, who's the designer of this logo, to meet with Jorge. And Jimmy had told me that he looked up to Jorge, but Jorge said he was inspired by Jimmy's logo. So seeing these little conversations with people and knowing that it's these little conversations that can inspire you and change you. And so this was a day where hundreds of people got to have those little conversations or hear those little pieces of advice that resonated with them and made them change. So it was a fantastic day. It well surpassed any goals that we had. And on a personal level, it was probably the most important day of my life in terms of feeling like I really accomplished something. I led a team of fantastic people, and it was just the most positive experience from day one. There was not one bad day over the last 2 years in terms of working with these people. So it was a great, great experience. Thanks.